All right, so we want to model, illustrate and explain 2/3 minus 1/6, and I'm going to say subtract means compare. So for these numbers, I would say that means something like how much bigger is 2/3 than 1/6. So to figure that out, I need to draw myself 2/3, and I'm going to draw some square cakes for that. One for 2/3, and I need another roughly the same size for 1/6. And I'm going to choose to draw the thirds this way. So then this here is my 2/3. And I'm going to draw my 6 the other way. So I'm going to cut it in half. Those halves, thirds. Now, alternatively, I could have drawn thirds and then cut the thirds in half. So there's a couple ways to draw it. Different color, pick one of those 6. I'm choosing to draw them opposite like this just because it's a more general approach. These two happen to have a little more in common than usual. Now, the problem is they're not the same size, and we're playing with fractions here, and a fraction is an equal part of a whole. So I have to use that idea. So, reminder, fraction is an equal part of a whole or equal parts of a whole. I got to get equal parts, and one way to get equal parts is to cut each like the other. So then I could cut thirds this way, 6 that way. And then I can do my comparison. So for my comparison, I'm going to say, okay, that one matches that one, and that one matches that one. That one can be matched up with that one because they're all the same size pieces. And then that leaves some extra ones. So how many extra? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different. So I've got 9 extra there out of how many? Well, this is a grid that is 3 by 6. 3 by 6 is 18. And we know that 9 goes into 18 or twice, or 18 is 2 times 9. So I could also say it's 1/2. So I now have 2/3 1/2 more than 1/6. Another way of saying that is 2/3 minus 1/6 has to be 1/2. Now, just a side note on this one, I could have drawn it slightly different. This is the more general way to draw it, where we cut each like the other, which is like that arrow algorithm for subtracting. 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. We are subtracting 12 minus 3 is going to give me 9 out of 18. Don't have to worry about the lowest common denominator. Even if I went with the lowest common denominator here, so just look at this without the modeling part, 2/3 minus 1/6. 6 is a common denominator because 3 goes into 6. So I could multiply top and bottom by 2, in which case this is the same problem as 4/6. Take away 1/6 gives me 3/6. Even if I find the lowest common denominator, I still sometimes have to reduce. Both of these are divisible by 3, giving me the 1/2. So that's kind of a side note. Just because you have the smallest denominator doesn't mean you don't have to reduce. Sometimes you still do. So again, my illustration and explanation. What does subtract mean? Here I claim it means to compare. I'm working with fractions, which are equal parts of a whole. So I have to show, since I'm doing a comparison, to see how much bigger 2/3 is than 1/6, I have to show what 2/3 looks like and show what 1/6 looks like in comparable ways. I have to cut them up so we're comparing common parts so that I can see how much bigger one is than the other. And then finally, I can state my result. So there's my illustration and explanation for why 2/3 minus 1/6 has to be 1/2.